You think you are buying luxury, heritage, and unique style. But what if I told you all of these competing luxury brands are made in the exact same factories by the exact same Italian company you have never heard of? That company is Luxottica. They own the brands, the stores, even the insurance you use to pay. So how did one company quietly seize control of an entire industry? Luxottica operates as the central control tower of the global eyewear industry. While consumers believe they are browsing a competitive market of distinct, independent labels, many of the world's most famous brands belong to this single Italian corporation. Luxottica owns historic household names outright, including Ray-Ban, Oakley, and Persol. Ownership represents only half of the strategy. For luxury brands they do not own, Luxottica secures exclusive licensing agreements. They manage the design, production, and worldwide distribution for elite fashion houses like Chanel, Prada, Versace, Burberry, and Armani. The creative direction remains with the fashion houses, but the actual physical product is manufactured in Luxottica's factories. This setup is a corporate strategy known as horizontal integration. In plain terms, instead of competing with rival brands, Luxottica simply buys them or signs exclusive deals to manufacture them. Competing labels that appear to battle for shelf space actually share the exact same factories, materials, and corporate parent. This integration reshapes the entire market, turning what looks like a diverse selection of choices into a single, massive production pipeline. Owning the brands is only the first step. To completely dominate a market, a company must also own the path the customer takes to buy them. This strategy is known as vertical integration. In plain terms, it means controlling every single stage of the supply chain, from the factory floor to the retail cash register. When a customer walks into a mall to buy sunglasses, they likely step into a Sunglass Hut. If they need an eye exam or prescription glasses, they visit LensCrafters or a Target optical department. All of these retail options belong to the exact same corporate parent. But this control extends far past retail storefronts. The company also owns Eyewear, the second largest vision insurance provider in the United States. Through Eyewear, the conglomerate steers 85 million insured members directly toward its own retail stores and approved lens finishing labs. The entire process is managed within a single closed ecosystem. In 2018, this network became even more concentrated. Luxottica merged with Essilor, the world's largest manufacturer of ophthalmic lenses. The resulting giant, Essilor-Luxottica, combined the leading frame maker with the dominant lens producer. This means one corporate entity now designs the frames, manufactures the lenses, owns the retail stores, and administers the insurance benefits that pay for them. By controlling the shelves and the payment systems, this empire decides which brands survive and exactly how much consumers must pay to see. In 1975, an entrepreneur named Jim Jannard founded Oakley, building a brand defined by high-performance sports eyewear. By 1998, Oakley had captured 15% of the premium sunglasses market in the United States. They achieved this by cultivating a loyal, independent following, proving that a challenger brand could successfully compete on its own terms. But in late 1999, the rules of the market shifted. Following a dispute over pricing and promotional terms, the Luxottica-owned retail giant, Sunglass Hut, abruptly stopped carrying Oakley products across North America. Practically overnight, Oakley was locked out of the most prominent sunglass storefronts on the continent. The consequences of losing those shelves were immediate and devastating. Within 6 months, Oakley's U.S. wholesale revenue dropped by approximately 30%. On Wall Street, investor confidence shattered as analysts realized the company had lost its primary pipeline to buyers. Oakley's stock price plummeted from $45 to $31 per share, wiping out hundreds of millions of dollars in valuation. For Jannard, this was a stark revelation. He would later observe that an independent brand cannot truly compete when its primary retailer owns the storefronts. By controlling the gateway to the consumer, Luxottica transformed retail access from a logistical convenience into a high-stakes corporate weapon. If a challenger stepped out of line, the gatekeeper could simply turn off the display lights, leaving even the most popular brand in America stranded without an audience. The financial pressure on Oakley lasted long after the initial shock. Without the retail oxygen of Sunglass Hut, the brand's cash flow dried up, forcing management to scale back operations. Although a new distribution agreement was signed in December 2001, restoring some frames to the shelves, the power balance had permanently shifted. Oakley lost its footing as an equal competitor, surviving entirely at the mercy of its rival's retail network. Throughout the early 2000s, Wall Street remained highly cautious. Investors understood that another retail dispute could instantly cripple the company. This constant vulnerability kept Oakley's market valuation suppressed for years, preventing the brand from expanding independently. Recognizing this weakness, Luxottica began positioning itself for a buyout. By late 2006, the conglomerate made its move, floating initial non-binding takeover offers as low as $12.20 per share. The final play came in June 2007. Luxottica announced a definitive agreement to acquire Oakley for approximately $2.1 billion. While the cash offer of $29.30 per share was publicly framed as a generous premium, the strategic reality was far more stark. For founder Jim Jannard, it was a forced surrender. The gatekeeper had established complete control. By holding the keys to the storefronts, Luxottica did not need to out-design its competition. The conglomerate simply restricted the market supply lines until its largest rival became weak enough and desperate enough to be absorbed. To understand how this market power dictates the cost of a single product, look at what actually goes into a standard pair of designer sunglasses. The physical object is remarkably simple. It consists of a few main parts: basic acetate sheets for the frame, two small metal hinges with screws, a pair of polycarbonate lenses, the factory labor required to assemble and polish them, and the baseline utility overhead of the manufacturing facility. When you total these physical components, the actual cost to produce a premium pair of sunglasses in a modern factory is surprisingly low. Industry audits and manufacturing data reveal that the complete factory gate cost for a typical pair of designer frames sits between $10 and $20. And yet, when these same sunglasses arrive on retail shelves, they occupy entirely different price tiers. Consumers routinely pay $300, $500, or even $800 for the exact same physical materials. This massive gap between production cost and retail price represents a markup of thousands of %. In a typical competitive market, a rival firm would quickly step in, offer a similar product for a lower price, and drive down these inflated margins. But here, the standard rules of economics do not apply. The gap survives because of a highly concentrated distribution system. By combining immense brand power, control of the wholesale network, and domination of physical shelf placement in major stores, a single corporate entity can maintain these high prices. There are no independent competitors with enough market reach to challenge these numbers. This structural control allows the manufacturer to establish premium pricing that consumers simply accept, transforming what some critics describe as a form of legalized price gouging into standard business practice. Without genuine competition on the shelves, the price tag ceases to reflect the value of the materials, leaving buyers to pay hundreds of dollars for a product that cost less than a lunch to make. Today, the illusion of choice is the ultimate commodity in this system of modern kleptonomy. When one giant controls the pipeline, competition is just performance. Knowing this, will you ever buy designer sunglasses again? Subscribe for more.